based on the
This
name
is a season of love, and I have something
So I
very
believe that we are
important
going
to
to be
share with you this day.
a lot
Remember,
of questions.
love
I'm telling
isn't
you,
just a
dissecting. Hello guys, welcome to another episode on QuestLab. As you know, love and its questions. Yeah, so if you've not watched the last episode, please kindly go and see it.
Yeah.
Then, before we go into this discussion that we have today, I'll just like to give a shout out to some people that are supporting us. Yeah, we are going global. So, I'd like to give a shout out to Flowmates, Blinks and Beauty, Dayex Ventures, and Ayesha. Yeah, so you can just check their Instagram handle and figure out what they are doing. But I'm very sure you guys will need their services. Yeah, so we know that there are a lot of questions when it comes to love, relationship, but we are just going to be talking about, we're just going to be taking few questions. Yeah, because we don't have the whole day, and we don't have obviously, if I even said the whole day, I mean we don't have eternity to talk about love. But I'm very sure these questions are going to be something that you guys saliently you might have been thinking about the answers to, but I am hoping our guests can dissect this for us.
Don't put me on the spot. Because the way you've called this our guest.
Calm down. You didn't allow me to introduce you.
Okay, go ahead and introduce me then.
Anyway, you've already started talking.
Yeah.
So, I have this bad habit of not writing my introduction down for my guests. I'm not like the other hosts, so I'll just say it as it is.
Okay, go ahead.
So guys, this is QuestLab, and we have with us someone who is funny and also serious. He is someone who you cannot judge. You cannot tell his next line of action.
Wow.
Exactly. That's the way I see you.
Wow.
Anyway. Because sometimes when I see you, you're with a straight face. We don't even know whether the Meji is suffering from
what?
Let me not say anything.
I'm not suffering from anything. I'm not suffering from anything.
Yeah, as I said, just mention his name now.
Yeah.
Dimeji, Drew,
Hey,
Sharo.
he murdered my name. My name.
Let me give it up for you. Let me just clap for you.
Clap for me.
Before you introduce yourself.
Clap for me. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So, how do you want me to introduce myself? Is it just my name or?
I'm very sure there are some things I don't know about you.
Like
so
what? Okay. My name is Oladimeji.
Okay.
Duro Sharo. People often ask me what my last name means, but ask Google.
Okay.
It's a great pleasure to be part of this wonderful initiative called QuestLab. I've watched a few videos from QuestLab, and I must say that it's a good thing you're doing, and I'm honored to be part of the session today. I'm honored to be part of the session today, and they've invited me to come and talk about something that. Don't judge me based on my answer. I'm just sharing my point of view. So thank you.
And your point of view will be valid.
Thank you.
Don't worry.
We listen, we don't judge.
Calm down.
We listen, we don't judge.
Okay, so let's go straight to business.
Yeah.
Love and its questions. First of all, a lot of people have different definitions to love.
Yeah.
I would like to know your definition.
My definition of love?
Yeah.
I'm a deep. For me, I would use an example of when I fell in love with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Me just falling in love before.
I don't understand.
No. Continue.
Okay, so love is patience. Love is kind. love is gentle, love is considerate. I mean, that word considerate, I cannot overemphasize it. If you're in love with someone, you have to be considerate. Love is compromise. Love is putting your needs above the needs of others. And I mean, we're talking about love of your partner here. We're not talking about love of with your friends, amongst your friends, or something else. We're talking about the kind of love you have with someone you're interested in. So they always say unconditional love, but people don't actually know what that feeling feels like. It's a deep feeling that you can't really put into words, but rather in action. In your how you relate to that person, how you relate with that person on a daily basis tells how much you love that person. You know, like the words I've mentioned, patience, consideration. You have to put their needs first above your needs. You can imagine in this generation putting a girl's need above your needs, and it's just a deep feeling that you cannot explain. When you're in love, you know. When it's infatuation,
Jesus.
When
something has been going on Instagram. When you're in love, you know.
If you know, you just know. No one needs to tell you.
I'm going there.
No one needs to tell you. The kind of love Jesus. Today's Easter, by the way. So the kind of love Jesus has for us is an unconditional love, even in our sin, in the way we misbehave, because we misbehave a lot. God still loves us. Jesus still loves us. He died for our sins. So I'm not saying I'm going to die for anyone, but the kind of love Jesus has for his children is the kind of love I'm talking about here. An unconditional love. A love without a why. You just love this person. If they ask you, why do you love this person? You'd be like, it's deep. It's deep. It's not just like, oh, she's a fine girl, she's beautiful. I mean, those things are good, but
they're necessary.
It's important. In fact, it's very important. Don't get me wrong. But love is a deep feeling. Is out of your belly. It's not from your. We used to say we feel love in our heart, but love is deeper than your heart. It's from the innermost depth of your soul, right? And it oozes out effortlessly. Yeah.
That your first love was really.
What's happened?
It was a very deep experience.
It was a long time ago.
You have quite a lot of definitions for this love.
You never fall in love before.
Moving on. I am the host.
So I don't have the right to ask you questions?
Nope.
Wow.
I have the right. I can decide.
Interesting.
I can decide to answer any question that you ask me.
Are you joking?
I feel like
it's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
I'm not the one in the hot seat. You are the one. So you've basically answered my second question, which is, what does it mean to love unconditionally? You talked about unconditional love. You've answered that already. So
I hope I've not answered all your question already.
No, before we I know you saw the last episode. Don't worry, calm down. Calm down. There's no need to rush.
I'm calm.
So, what are your love languages?
Hey, wala bila bicycle. My love language.
Yeah.
There are 5 major love languages, right?
Wait, before you start, you see, let me just say something. I feel like if a lady is to be sitting here, because I know I asked Victoria the same question. I asked Victoria in the last episode this same question. I said, what are your love languages? And immediately when I said that question, I felt like Victoria is a lady, and from what I suspect, ladies don't like to open up on telling guys what. But you now, you are ready. As per. So, first of all, answer that question. I don't know where to come in with that.
Yeah. So, over the years, I would say this question, to answer your question, I feel that there's a better way to answer that most people are not aware of. There's a love language I like to receive, and there's a love language I like to give.
Okay.
There's a clear difference between. There may be a bit of a similarity in it, but sometimes what I like to give is not what I like to receive. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. So if you ask me what are my love language, I'll say what I like to give first. Or which one do you want to hear first? Is it what I like to give?
Okay, tell us what you like to give.
What I like to give.
Yeah.
Okay. Effortlessly, according to hierarchy, right? Act of service
Okay.
would be effortlessly.
Victoria has escaped this one. Because he didn't tell us whether it is give or take.
Yeah. So after act of service, effortlessly is quality time. Right?
Okay.
Then what's the next one? Physical touch. Is important. Giving gifts.
Physical touch.
And
Okay, let's go.
okay, calm down.
Okay.
Be calming down.
Yes, sir.
And then lastly, words of affirmation. And when you even want to dissect this love language thing, it's deep. Because if love language is interwoven, you can't spend quality time and not give act of service, and not give words of affirmation, and not give physical touch, and not they all work hand in hand.
Okay.
But in simple terms, from me, what I like to give is acts of service priority on my list, followed by quality time, physical touch, giving gifts, and words of affirmation. What do I like to receive? We listen, we don't judge.
Okay.
What I like to receive is quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, and giving gifts. Don't ask me why.
I won't ask you why.
That's just what I like.
You will not tell us.
I'm not going to tell you why, but that's just what I like.
Okay. So, you've mentioned all these love languages now.
Yeah.
Obviously, before you say you want to start a relationship with someone,
Yep.
you guys should have started talking at least for a while.
Certainly.
Yeah, getting to know her, getting to know him. No, her. So we don't do that here.
We don't do that here.
Getting to know her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you think it's a necessity for you to spot or for you to receive one or two of your love languages before you finally decide to go ahead, ask her out? I mean, you said quality time. She might probably be a person that always chats you up, always on social media, you always talk on social media. Meanwhile, in this generation now, where is it? You know the way it is now.
I don't know the way it is. I'm not from this generation. But I'm just going to answer your question very quickly.
Okay.
If I get you correctly, what you're asking is, before I ask her out,
Yes.
do I have to have seen all this love language in her? No. And the reason is because it's a big no. I'll explain. The reason is because for me to ask you out, there are check boxes. There are things that I have seen about you that I like. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you out because you know how to do physical touch, or you know how to do act of service, or you know how to do words of affirmation. No, that's not what I'm saying. Do you get? There's the attraction first.
Okay.
Right? There's the getting to know the person.
Okay.
Falling in love with someone, you're falling in love with that person, not their love language. You're falling in love with that person as a person, not falling in love with their love language. Do you get what I'm saying? So love language is In fact, I feel like sometimes I don't even want to be asking all that, what's your love language thing, because if you love someone, you find out that the thing that you think you want is actually not what you want. The hierarchy that you have set for yourself gets distorted. That's the simple truth. Because
Reggie is going deep.
where are you going to?
Continue.
When you're in love with someone, trust me, you will not think of love language. You will not think of love language. If you're in love with someone, if giving gift is on your priority list, if that person doesn't give you a gift, it changes nothing. Although it's a spice. It's like a extra, it's jara on top. It's an icing on the cake. It makes it beautiful. It makes everything go smoothly. Don't get me wrong. It's important. It's necessary. It's an icing on the cake. But you don't fall in love with someone because of love language. You're thinking of the next blast.
I don't know whether I'm comfortable with that, because I feel
Yeah.
there should be a connection. My friend will call it spark. Yeah, you're getting to know somebody, but while you are getting to know the person, you're also, as I said, getting to know.
Yeah.
So you're also getting to know if that person can fill up some gaps. Like probably self-service,
Acts of
act of service. Like, okay, like maybe you have an assignment from school or from work.
Yeah.
Like, how far? Maybe you guys are in the same main department at work.
Yeah.
How far? Can you please help me finish this code?
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Okay. Well, to answer your question,
I'm not saying
I'm
it's
not.
the main reason.
I'm not falling in love with someone to fill a gap. Let me first of all correct what you've said. I'm not falling in love with you to fill a gap in my life.
Oh yes.
I'm whole.
You saw it coming. You saw it coming.
I am whole. I am very, very whole. Right. When God created creation or created relationship or created marriage, everybody has their roles and responsibility. You know, it's women are your helpmates. They're not filling any gap in your life, if you get what I mean. So if you already have that mindset that I'm whole, you're just. So I'll give an example from based off of what you have said. Act of service. When two people come together, they become one. They become whole. It's not half and half coming together to become one. It is one and one coming together to become one. Don't ask me what the arithmetic calculation is. It is the design way of life. That's how God has designed life. One whole person and another whole person.
From the way he's talking, some of you are trying to be thinking that this guy has gotten married before. Continue.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Just one.
As you are talking, I just had to look at your fingers. I'm like,
just one
it's
yourself.
going.
Just one yourself. Two people coming together to become one, right? And when we talk about when you talk about love language, that's why I mentioned that there is what I like and what I like to there is what I like to receive and what I like to give, right? Because it helps the relationship to foster better if you understand those simple principles. If you know that, my partner actually doesn't like to give gifts, it will not hurt you that much because you already know. But you are the kind of partner that gives gifts. Fine, give it. But you know, if I give this babe gifts now, she should not give me gifts until maybe my birthday or we're having any anniversary. But you already know that she compliments for that thing somewhere else. Whatever you're thinking in your mind, keep rolling your eyes. Because I know that's what you're thinking about. Okay. She compliments for it in another way. Maybe she knows how to give words of affirmation, and the way she gives it to you just blows your head. When she says those words, you're like, oh my God, I'm not even thinking about the fact that she doesn't give me gifts, or she's not, her act of service is not so much as I desired, right? But the fact that you know that this person does one thing really good, right? There's also openness for improvement to say, babe, it'd be nice if you once in a while, just get me flowers or just get me chocolates.
That means you agree to teaching or
Yeah. There's
from your partner.
there's room for improvement. I'm not a superstar. I'm not Super Mario. I'm not a Superman. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's as if you just saw the next question that was coming in my head.
I know your mind. Because there's always room for improvement. The essence of being in a relationship or partnership or getting married to someone is basically for you to grow together. And growth is not something that happens like magic. It doesn't happen in one day. You grow together, you groom each other, you take each other's excesses, bend it together, and straighten it better to become a perfect couple, a perfect partner for yourself. So I hope I've been able to answer your question.
So thank you very much for those questions.
You're welcome,
for
sir.
those answers.
Yeah.
If you would like to ask our guests any question, feel free to submit your question in the comment section or yeah. Okay, so I would like to rush to segment 2, the modern dating scene. In the previous episode, we had a lady talking about this, so I'm going to turn it around for a guy's perspective. So, why is modern dating more complicated?
Why is modern dating more complicated?
Okay, do you feel it is more complicated?
Yes, it's more complicated.
Okay.
I'm not going to think about the answer.
So
it is so much complicated these days that I was having a conversation with a friend a couple of days ago about this, and it was a girl. It was a lady, and it was a long conversation, and she made some very valid points, and which I quite agree with. There are things that are enablers in this generation that has enabled people with overload of choices. I'll use an example. Say, for example, you download a dating app, and you know how dating apps is. You swipe left or swipe right. Swipe. Well,
I don't know.
That's your own bloody cup of tea. Swiping left, I think swiping left is to swipe away. Swiping right is to swipe that you accept the person. Now, if a dating app is like you're putting yourself out there to say, so pictures and a few bio to describe yourself. I'm on a dating app and I don't care what anybody feels like. So I know you're going to ask me. So I've already said it.
Okay.
So
see.
Let me finish my question.
No,
Let me
for what I
forget.
have seen now, I think you should just go and exit that app.
That's your bloody cup of tea. I really don't care whatever your opinion is. But yeah, there's an overload of what's it called now? What was I saying? Overload of choice in this generation. Back in the days, I'm saying back in the days as if I was born back in the days, but from what information I gathered from our parents and our elder ones, when you meet a girl in a lady in school, for example, you profess your love and finish, everything is still done and deal. Or they matchmake you, everything is deal, done and deal. Like there's no back and forth about confusion, right? But in this generation, everywhere you go to, there's always someone that you always think is better than the partner that you have. People, there's a lot of comparison these days. There's a lot of this person lacks this thing, but this other person has this thing. There's just so much overload of choice, right? I think that's the best way I can explain it. There's also the fear of commitment. People are very, very scared to commit because of too many choices. Because they know that if this one messes up, I can always move to another person. I can always there's always a plan B. I don't know why ladies always everyone. I don't want to put this on a gender. I don't want to say this on a gender basis.
Okay.
I think everyone always go into a relationship to say, if this thing doesn't work, let me have a plan B. You shouldn't have a plan B. You shouldn't have a plan C. You should have one plan. And that's one goal from what you want in that relationship. If you're chasing one girl, chase her until you get her, or else if she says no, then walk away. But don't be chasing 3 girls at the same time, be rolling the dice. Let me see the one that we walk first. Though, if this one now walk first, you now end all the talking stage that you've been having with the 2 other ones, and those ones now be feeling ghosted. It's just an overload of choice, right? I know you want to have.
No, is that actually a question? You just spoke to me now, but continue. Continue.
Yeah, and also there's a lot of people that have misplaced priority, misplaced principles. We often, if you don't even have a principle or value for your life, if you don't know what you want, then you start hopping around like a grasshopper, jumping from one to another. If you say, look, this is what I want and this is what I'm going for, you just have your gaze and your focus and your attention on that one thing. If it doesn't work, fine. It's okay if it doesn't work out. But don't have plan B. Don't be saying I have plan B, because it creates a lot of confusion in your heart. It creates a lot of... the one that you are chasing that has worked, safe, it will not even work because you already have exit plan. You already have a plan that if this thing doesn't work, I'm just going to run away to sister or Ngozi. Permit me to use that word. I'm just going to run away to another lady. I'm going to run away to another guy because this guy has been nice to me. He's this and that. It doesn't work that way. But in this generation, we just have that overload of choice. We have people fear of commitments. We have people with misplaced priorities, right? And then the enablers. Technology also enables us to get confused. People will go on social media and see things other people are doing in their relationship. They see other things people are doing in their relationship and they want that in their own relationship. It doesn't work that way. People have fantasies. It's okay to have fantasies. Does your partner even want that fantasy? People have this idea of how they want their relationship to be in their head, right? Because of they've watched something in a movie.
Like me.
Oh no, this is real life. Oh, this is real life. Like real life. This is real life. Just know what works for you.
Dimeji, you want to say you don't have expectations or what?
Expectation is different from fantasy. I'm talking about fantasy. I'm not talking about expectation here. Don't you know what fantasy means?
I don't know.
Check your dictionary. I'm not going to explain what fantasy is. People fantasize because they watch Cinderella. They want that kind of. I mean, it's nice to have. You should sweep your partner off their feet.
Buying you Lamborghini.
Yeah, you should sweep your partner off their feet. You should have all these things. But sometimes life happens, right? And when life happens and you don't get those fantasies that you want, what then happens? Are you going to then run to somebody that can give you those fantasies and choke your heart like a million times?
Okay. So,
yeah.
You just jumped to the social media aspect, but God knows I wasn't even planning on asking you about the social media. So I would just ask this simple question.
Yeah.
Would you, from a guy's perspective, would you prefer to know a lady's relationship status before asking a lady out?
Of course. Do I want to be wasting my time with you? I don't want to waste my time with you. Of course, I like to know where your headspace is, where you are, where your relationship status is. Are you in a complicated friendship? Are you in a confused situation? Are you in an uncertain asking out with somebody that you're not sure if this person, if you're saying yes? Let me know. Because if you don't let me know, let me just know so I can manage my expectations.
Anyway,
Yeah.
before I forget,
Okay.
somebody online just dropped a question asking if you are open. Anyway, he said it's open. It's
Open to what? Open to what? When did I say I'm open?
And she said she's in Nigeria. So, I mean, are you? Are you?
I'm not married and I'm single, so that answers your question. So whatever answer you want, I don't know.
You are
what answer.
open to.
I'm single and unmarried.
He's open. I'll answer that question for
Whatever.
you. So, yeah. You said you prefer to know the lady's status.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you, because we're talking about this generation,
Yeah.
a lot of ladies don't like putting it out there that they're in relationships. I mean, you can see a lady now, you might have, I mean, let me give you my own experience anyway. I've spoken to a lady for about 2 to 3 years
Okay.
without the lady telling me that she was in a relationship. Can you believe it?
So what were you doing?
What was I doing? Someone said I friend zoned her. So anyway, I don't know what I was doing. Anyway, I was just a friend, but being that she was in a relationship without me knowing, I felt betrayal. I felt betrayed.
Yeah.
So, how would you ask your female friends if you have no idea? Because I, for instance, assumed that I am their friend. So, I mean, it's something that you can easily talk about. Like, I'm dating so guy. I'm dating this person. This person is actually my boyfriend, though. Blah, 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 blah. Not because I want to know. Not because I just feel like I deserve to know. I'm your friend.
So your question is, how do you know if?
So how would you know, especially in this generation,
If
that
what?
they hide it? They don't. Maybe they don't. Is it that you guys hide it, or you don't just see?
So
the
let me
need
let
to
me tell
say
you let me
it?
tell you something.
Okay.
There are signs.
I need the size. Okay.
I can't tell you what the signs are.
Okay.
But when you talk to somebody, when you are having a conversation with someone, you will know. You can't tell me that you did not guess or have an idea.
I don't want you to use that,
I don't
that
understand.
Instagram phrase where you say, if you know, you know.
It's not if you know, you know.
Tell me.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you what the signs are because there's no example that I can give you. Okay, so for example now, I don't know the example. Don't let me give you an example.
Let me give you an example.
Yeah, give me an example.
Okay. It's not like I know, I don't know. But there are some people that say when you're talking to a lady and a lady is doesn't find it hard to move close to you, her body language shows that okay, she's not scared of being close to you, she's always looking at you straight in the eye, or she's always trying to avoid looking at your eyeballs, blah blah blah, that means that there's something there.
Maybe she's just shy. I don't understand. See, for me, I don't overthink things these days. I don't overthink things, but at the same time, I'm a very observant human being. Like, I read meaning to a lot of things. I also don't read meaning to a lot of things, right? There are signs that I look out for. If a woman, for example, is in a situationship with someone else, she likes the guy, but the guy really doesn't like her that much. And she's literally just waiting for the guy to ask and it shall be given. Right? And you're here chasing that same girl whose attention is divided. Of course, the deficiency of attention for you will be very, very obvious because her attention is divided. She wants what you're giving her from somebody else. So no matter what you do, if you do everything the right way, she will never give you reciprocate the way you want it because she wants all of those things from someone else. Although people can pretend, but even in that pretense, trust me, there are things that are underlying signs you should pay attention to. Just pay attention. Don't be carried away, Oga. What's wrong with you?
Let's say I'm carried
You
away.
were carried away for 2 years. You were chasing a girl as
No. Let's go speed. I
What speed?
wasn't chasing anybody for 2 years.
I don't
for
understand.
3
So what were
years.
you doing?
I was just the person's friend. I was just the
So
person's
in
friend.
that friendship, what were you expecting to happen? What was the outcome you were expecting?
Don't you believe that a guy can be a friend? with
I'm
a-
asking you, what was your
Yeah,
outcome?
I was just a friend.
But you were saying you're a friend. So why were you concerned that she was in a relationship? How did that affect you?
See, okay. Me personally, I choose to answer this question in a bit. So personally, I kind of respect people's relationships.
Yeah.
And there are some things that I would do and say to people that are in relationships that I won't say to people that are not in a relationship. That's just it.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
I mean, if
Don't let us drag this question too much.
we shouldn't drag it, you agree with what I said?
I'm not agreeing to anything. I'm agreeing to what me I believe. Let's move on.
No, but you can't be saying some things to someone that you know that clearly this is someone else's. God,
Of course, that's what I'm
pardon me
saying.
for my choice of word, but I'm saying this is someone else's property.
That's the same thing I'm saying. That's the same thing I'm saying. You know this. You already know. So why are you wasting your time? Why are you chasing after something that you know will never be yours?
That is.
But of course, you can be friends. You can be friends with that person. It's okay to be friends. But what was your intention?
Wait, before we miss the train of thought, too.
Okay, sir.
I said, what do you think about it?
Okay, what's your train of thought? Let's go back. Let's take a step back.
Because I said, in this generation,
Yeah.
most ladies don't like opening up their relationship status to guys. What's your take on it?
Why should they open their relationship status to which guy? The friend that they've just met? Would you open up your relationship status to a girl you've just met?
To a girl I just met?
Yeah.
Me, I can be weird in that
I mean,
way.
you're just the exception. You're the 0.1%. You're the 0.1%.
No, I believe I'm faithful. I
So,
believe I'm faithful.
when you're saying you're open-
so just know before you start catching feelings. I hate it when people
Okay,
start
so
catching feelings.
let me understand. Let me understand your question.
Okay.
For example, I'm in a relationship with someone, with a lady, not with someone, with a lady. Let's understand what I'm saying. I'm in a relationship with a woman or a lady, right? And then there's a girl who likes me, and I know she likes me, and she's probably told me that she likes me. Are you saying that I should then? Is your question that I should tell her that? Oh, sorry, I am in a relationship with someone. Is that your question?
That is not my question.
I don't understand this guy.
My question is very simple.
It's not simple.
This is it.
Okay.
Let me create a scenario.
Alright.
Okay, you meet somebody for the very first time.
Yeah.
And obviously the person doesn't know your background or anything about you. And you are in a relationship. I'm talking from a lady's perspective now.
Yeah.
And she's in a relationship.
Yeah.
And you guys get talking for a period of, let me say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
What are you?
a month.
What are you talking? What are you talking about?
Life.
What are you talking? Why can't you go and talk about life with your partner? I don't understand.
See, the fact that this love thing has a lot of questions behind it doesn't mean that everything in life is love. Oh.
Why can't you? Because I meet
You
an
might be
amazing.
talking about work, you might be talking about school, you
Yeah, so
might
what-
be talking about the Bible.
Excuse me.
Yes.
So excuse me. Why was the what? Permit me to say this in Yoruba. Kí la sọ débi ọ̀rọ̀ relationship. What did we talk to the?
No,
I don't even know how to say it in English.
see.
What are we talking about that we got to the level of you must know my relationship status? What importance has that got to do with my friendship with you? If not that you're chasing me for something. If you're chasing me to be in a relationship
So
with me, then there's a need for me to let you know that look,
Dimeji,
nigga, I'm in a relationship with
you
someone.
don't see any fault in it.
I don't understand your question. Yeah, your question is confusing me. Let's just move on to this. You're not asking a very direct question. You're a green snake under the green grass. Yeah,
Okay.
I cannot see your question. I don't understand it.
Okay.
So just drop it and just move on.
Okay. Before it beats me. Okay. So, what do you think about matchmaking?
In this generation or in the other generation?
In this generation,
There's nothing. I'm not against anything in this generation, to be honest. If the old way works for you, fine. If they want to matchmake you with someone, fine. Matchmaking is just see, do you like this person, or there's my friend's daughter that I want to introduce to you. It's left to you to like the person or not. So no, they can matchmake you as much as you want. If you like the person, fine. If you don't like the person, you move on. So they are not putting a gun to your head that you must marry this person by force.
it's obvious that Dimeji is in support of matchmaking.
I'm not. I don't understand. Matchmaking is more like you're introducing me to somebody.
Yes, now
Yeah,
I'm not saying you're interested. You are in support of it.
I'm not in support of anything.
Okay,
You're asking for my opinion. You ask for my opinion.
Yes.
Oga. Opinion, yeah, is different from. Don't let me be speaking my mother tongue on this live because you are pushing me. You are putting inside my intestine.
Oh yeah, continue. I'm listening.
You asked for my opinion.
Okay.
What do I think on matchmaking? And I just gave it to you.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Comma. Do you feel it's a comfortable way of getting to know someone better?
Yes. It's like I'm going to be asking yes and no to your question.
No.
Yes, it's a comfortable way. So, matchmaking is basically somebody, a third party, creating an easy flow of conversation with the opposite sex. That's why I see matchmaking as, Tommy, I have this lady that I think you might like. I've spoken to her, and she might like you as well. I'm going to give you your contact, or you guys should meet up at my party next week and I will introduce you. That's matchmaking. That's Gojunielo. That's just, is that not what matchmaking is?
Yeah.
So it's just me being the third party to introduce two people together. There's no overthink things in life. They're not saying you must marry this person, that this person I'm giving you must marry this person, you must be into the relationship with that person. Now. No. They're just introducing you. It's like you saying, it's just a basic introduction. I don't understand why you're...
It's just a question.
You're saying me I'm into matchmaking. Oga?
I didn't say you are into matchmaking. I said you are in support of matchmaking.
Alright, moving on.
This is not anything against it now.
I don't have anything against it. It's
so, relationships and red flags.
Yes, sir.
What are your biggest red flags in relationships?
My own.
Yes, your own.
My own personal one.
You're not a lady. I won't calm down.
You want me to put it out there?
Yes.
Okay. So, my biggest red flag, I'll say dishonesty. In fact, before I would say dishonesty, my biggest red flag is being misunderstood. If you misunderstand me, then I feel like we're going to have problems. A very big problem. That's my biggest red flag. If you're manipulative, some people are very manipulative with their words. They have a degree in word manipulation, and that's like a big red flag for me, to be honest. If you have a controlling behavior, that's a big red flag. Like then dishonesty. If you lack respect, because I respect people a lot. I respect, not just respect by.
But you don't respect.
Okay, calm down. Let me finish. I respect you as a human being. I respect you as a fellow gender. I respect you a lot. Let's just establish that. But respect I'm talking about is not bowing down before your feet and licking your shoes and stuff. That's not what I mean by respect. What I mean by respect is accord me. Just don't treat me like a trash. Permit me to use that word. Like I'm irrelevant. Okay. Respect my family. Respect my friends. Respect people around you. Speak to people respectfully. Don't be loud. Don't be like all over the place. Be cool, calm, and collected. But if you're like, you're just everywhere, it's instant red flags.
So, and these red flags mean that you won't even.
No, I won't even.
You won't even stress yourself.
Okay. Attraction. You have to be attracted to something, but the person is already behaving like are you going to be attracted to area girl?
Okay.
Someone that breaks bottle.
So how do you differentiate between a rough patch and a dead end relationship?
How do I differentiate between a rough patch and a dead end relationship? That's a very deep question. A rough patch, I think if I would define what a rough patch is from my own understanding, is if there's an existing issue, right, and we are making conscious effort to try and get those issues resolved, right? Is that what rough patch is? Yeah, I would guess that's what rough patch is. And dead end relationship means that it's reached the end of the life cycle. The relationship is already a time bomb that's gone off. So how do I differentiate? I basically just differentiated the difference with you. A rough patch relationship is when you two are still making conscious effort to make things work out for yourself, while a dead end relationship is a relationship that has, everything is just ended. It has reached the end of its life cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Is that all?
That's all.
That's all the question.
That's all for that. That's all for that. For that aspect. Okay. So let me jump. The role of intimacy. But before we go ahead, what do you do when you are in one of it?
When I'm in one of it, if I'm in a rough patch relationship, there's also there's the room for communication. Let us talk about why we are having this rough patch. What's the problem? What's the issue? We sit down like an adult. When I say adults, we are not. These days people don't have conversations like adults anymore. There's always either one adult in the room and one child, or there are two children. And when two children are in the room, situations will never get resolved. Even when one child is in the room, the situation never gets resolved. So we both sit down like an adult, have a proper communication without hurting each other's feelings, without saying hurtful words, without using words that would trigger the person's annoyance. Don't raise your voice. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stay of anger. I always live by that word as much as I can. Let's have an amicable conversation. Okay, I'm pointing out what you have done wrong. Don't make me feel like, don't say it in a way that you've sentenced me to death. I always say this thing, that for every action, there is a why. Even if the person's, and there's a why, there's a perspective. Yes, you're seeing, when you write W, for example, if you turn it, to use W, to me is M. Right? We are both right. Right? And we are both wrong. In a way. We're both right and we're both wrong in a way. So it's all about perspective. And if we go on about expressing why and proving why it's W I'm seeing, and then you make the other person feel like they are not seeing M, like what they are seeing is rubbish, then you never resolve whatever conflict you're having. You guys need to be able to, first of all, understand each other's person's perspective, respect their point of view. We are talking about rough patch. So if I'm in that kind of situation, what I do is let's just have that conversation about what the issue is. Why are we going through this rough patch? What can we do to improve ourselves? What can we do to get this better? What can we do to make things, to spice things up in the relationship, basically? Whilst if it's in a dead-end relationship, dead-end relationship means that, for me, we've gone through the rough patch and we were unable to patch anything. Patch. You cannot join and cut anymore, and we are agreeing to go our separate ways. We already know that this thing cannot work. It's best that we just go our separate ways. We can still be friends if you're open to friendship, because I don't choose to throw anybody away. If you want to be friends with me, fine. I want to be friends with you, but if you don't want to, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. But these days, I see people go through rough patch or dead-end relationships. They will block you. They will delete your number. They will unfollow you everywhere. My brother, we were friends first. My brother, are you seeing what's going on in my head? Whatever is going on in your head, because I can't see.
Okay, so for what you're just saying now, you are going to, or you don't see any wrong, or you don't see any problem in still being in connection with your ex.
you shouldn't build a connection with your ex. They're ex for a reason. You shouldn't build a connection with your ex. What I'm saying,
I didn't say build. I said being.
what sort of connection are we talking about?
Like, I mean, talking,
What kind
going
of,
out to see a movie together,
why are you going out to see a movie together?
inviting her for a wedding.
Why are you inviting her for a wedding? Why? She's your ex, for heaven's sake. Why are you doing that? You're complicating matters.
Okay,
Now,
wait.
don't get me wrong. If someone is your ex, for me, if I don't cut ties with people. We need see, no one is an island. No one is an island. The person that you just had a breakup. It's not the reason you didn't break life. Life did not end. It's just a breakup. It's just a disagreement to say, look, we can't be in a relationship. Except if that person has done something to you that you'd be like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to ever see you in my life. I don't want to. But everyone has different ways how to deal with breakups.
I feel like I'll have to go and rewatch the former podcast,
Yeah.
the former session on.
Everyone has different ways to deal with
on
breakups.
this question.
For me,
Because I think there's a contrary opinion to this.
well, I'm talking from my
Yeah.
own.
That's why we brought you here. You're a guy.
Whatever. I don't entertain my ex. I don't go calling you night and day, morning and afternoon. Oh, hi, just calling to check on you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. What's up? Let's meet. Let's hang out. Why? What's that? What are you doing? Like, unnecessary. It's not necessary. But, if, for example, your ex is celebrating her birthday. Oh, happy birthday. I wish you long life. It costs you absolutely nothing. Or I've gone to my ex's wedding before and there was nothing. I felt nothing. I felt like I was just going to my friends. Yes, I was just going to my friends. I don't understand. I was just going to my friend's wedding. I have gone to my ex's child dedication before. I don't understand. Don't ask me that question. So for me, life is beautiful. This is my own opinion. I'm not saying it should be the standard principle. If what works for you is to block your ex, delete your ex, and delete. For me, the first thing I do is first of all delete all your pictures, right? Because I have to for my own mental well-being, right? But the avenue for communication will be open. Because you might need something from me. If I'm the only person that can provide it, if I've cut short that communication, then what happens? Anything can happen in life. This life is so small that tomorrow, maybe it's your ex that will interview you for your next job interview or for a lifetime deal that you need to sign. And then you've already created that bad blood between both of you. I don't create bad bloods with people. If we don't work out, fine. But if you then tell me, if you say,
Just make sure you don't create any bad blood between us right now.
what do you mean? Are we dating? I don't understand.
But we be dating.
You want to be my ex? I don't get you. Are you into me? Please just stay on your lane. Just stay on your lane.
Okay.
If what was I saying? You make me lose my train of thought. So if my ex says, look, Dimeji, I'm deleting you, I'm blocking you, fine. Like, no hard feelings. It simply just means that you do not want anything to do with me. And I move on with my life. But me, I don't do that to people. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to heartbreak and healing.
Yeah.
Moving on after love fails. We had a series of questions on the last episode.
Yep.
Under this, and I'm going to be twisting it and turning it around.
Now you're welcome.
So, but just before we move on, I think there is a question from a viewer. Should you be in a harmless communication with your ex if you are in a new relationship?
So, what's the definition of a harmless relation of a harmless communication? So, I don't see a problem with it if that communication is genuinely harmless. If it's a communication of And what sort of communication are we talking about? Is the person asking you in the morning, afternoon, evening? Are you have you eaten? How are you today? Hope you are good. How was work? Come on, that's taking it out of a harmless one. Or is this person just reaching out to you maybe once in a blue moon? That's fine. I'm like, what if you did not tell your partner that this person used to be my ex? Maybe your partner just thinks he's your friend. But I mean, not to deviate from the question, a harmless communication is, I don't see a problem with it, but also I see a lot of problem with it as well. Because if you don't create boundaries, if you don't, I know myself, I don't know my ex. You might think you know your ex, but maybe your ex is trying to get back to you. And then from those harmless communications, it starts to create, you get too familiar again, and then problems start. If it's fine with you to know how to set your boundaries, fine, you can engage in those harmless conversations. But if you know that, this my ex, this is how we used to start to, before you know it now, you will see that she invites me over to his house. Let me just not have this communication with that person. But a harmless communication can genuinely, if you keep it a harmless communication with your ex, then why not? Like I said, no one is an island. You need people, especially in this country that we live in. You don't know if that your ex is the one that has the information that will save your life, right?
Okay.
So sometimes I just leave the opportunity for communication or for conversations open. The boundaries of how that communication will go or how that conversation will go is then up to you to say, I don't want it to go beyond this. And if it's beginning to go beyond that, let the other party know that, look, this conversation is getting beyond what it needs to get to. I think that maybe we don't need to talk anymore, or just respect your boundary or respect yourself.
Okay, so I have one question I want to ask you personally. It's not a personal thing, I'm just asking you a question. But it's actually that it's personal. No. So, would you say, because there are a lot of people that say they believe once they are dating, it means they want to get married, or which I believe that should be the main goal for marriage. I believe that should be the main goal.
Yeah.
But when it now doesn't work out, do you feel it is, I'm trying to go spiritual here. So do you feel like it is God bringing you out of such thing, or God that started that relationship for a particular reason? Do you think it's God that orchestrated that relationship in your life?
First of all, God is not an author of confusion. Let's just know that God is not an author of confusion. He doesn't orchestrate something that is harmful to you or something that will lead into a heartbreak. He's not in support of those things. There was a message I listened to, I can't remember the person's name. He said that God will often, for example, he will tell you that Sister A, that you have received, that I'm giving you Sister A. But God is telling you that, oh, Sister A is your wife, or I'm going to give you Sister A, right? God has given you that vision. And then because God has given you that vision, you then take that vision and you run to Sister A, that God has told me that he's giving you to me. And then that relationship doesn't work out. God did not tell you that he's handing over Sister A to you. He only said, I am going to give you Sister A. It's like when God says, I'm going to give you a child. There's a process to birth a child.
Of course.
Before you then receive the child, right? You don't know when you're going to receive that child. You don't know when you're going to birth that child. When God told Moses that he's going to be a father of many nations, Sorry, I said Moses. God forgive me. Abraham. There's going to be a father of many nations. It did not happen one day. Right? That promise came into fulfillment generations later. And there was a process to it. Now, when God says, I am going to, what's the word now? I'm going to, you have received this sister. Or I'm going to, what am I saying?
Give you this
I'm going to
sister.
give you this sister. God is probably still in the process of grooming that sister for you to be rich, for you to receive it eventually. Right? So sometimes we need to actually hear from God and let God do his thing. Right?
Sometimes, all times.
All times, actually. You need to actually let God do his thing. Let him take that sister through the process. Right? Groom her to what is best for you. Right? And there's this thing that always go around that people used to say soulmate, soulmate, soulmate. There's something like soulmate that if you have missed your soulmate in life.
When you see people, we'll show you.
That you have missed your soulmate in life. It's you that are thinking that person is your soulmate. Because for me, I feel like there's literally nothing like soulmate. Does God ordain one person for you? No, he doesn't ordain one human being for you. Because if by circumstances or by situation or by life, the person that God has ordained, the one person no, that you think God has ordained for you, probably say passes away, does that mean you will never marry again? It doesn't mean you never marry again. It doesn't mean you never marry again. It means that God will then orchestrate another person for you. So when you think that this is my soulmate, or I've lost, that you start saying things like you've lost your soulmate, then you've boxed yourself into a box, thinking that you can never find.
Thank you. I think this one is for all those that are saying, if I break up with you, you're trusting your partner. You're saying, if I break up with you, you never find someone like
big
me.
fat lie.
Thank you.
They will find someone 10 times better than you. So who are you? Like, first question, who are you, Seth? Like, I think they cannot find somebody better than you. Anyway, that's the question for another day.
Yes, so I said we're going to heartbreak and healing.
Yeah.
But before we move on, please keep sending in your questions. We can still take about 3 more questions. Yeah, so don't feel left out. Send your questions. Yeah. So heartbreak and healing.
Yeah.
There was a dimension I gave it to the last guest, but I'm going to give it in a different dimension this time around. Okay, so how is it coming? Oh Lord! Now this is it. You know, someone is in a relationship with somebody else, and because the person is in a relationship with somebody else, you step back. You took a step back, being that you respect.
Bro code.
No, you don't even know the brother. You don't even know the brother.
Yeah, but it's bro code now.
I mean, you get what I'm trying to say.
I get you.
But eventually, that relationship scattered. Do you feel you can, in your opinion, do you feel it is right for you to, continue?
So
For you to ask her out?
Yeah, I'll rephrase your question to the best of my understanding. So you like this sister, this lady, but she's in a relationship with someone else. And then that relationship doesn't work out. And then you now want to go and bring your food
And
chest.
you are not in a relationship.
And you are not in a relationship. Now want to bring your food chest.
Yeah.
So come and ask her out.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be realistic. What are you doing? What were you doing before the so-called lady or the relationship didn't work out with that person? What if the relationship worked out? What's gonna happen to you? Because all of this is about you. It's about you as a person. If the relationship doesn't work out with that person, then what happens to you? If the relationship works out with that person, what happens to you? What happens to you? So if I'm asking a girl out or I'm attracted to a girl and she's in a relationship, say go away.
Just
leave her alone.
Leave her alone. Okay.
Just leave her alone. What's your own? Don't be if for adventure in future.
Because he's a fine guy. Fine guys have confidence. Don't stress. Don't stress themselves.
If you're still attracted to the lady and in future she leaves the relationship, because you also need to give her time to heal.
Of course.
So all of this time, what are you doing? All of this time, I don't understand. What are you doing?
Gracias.
You're wasting your own time now.
I feel like I'm very, very comfortable with that. I didn't even know. Do
you know how many men are in the world? Do you know how many men are in the world?
Okay.
I beg, don't waste your time, please.
So, how long should someone wait before moving on?
How long should someone wait before moving on?
Just talked about aligning the person to you. I was going to ask this question because it's going to be it's a repetitive question from the last episode.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there's no time limit to
Jesus,
healing.
even the same reply.
There's no time to it. If you know yourself, healing has a process.
Okay.
Right? Accept there's this thing called the grieving process or something like that. There's a process to healing, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, you need to accept. You don't need to work on the things that has made that situation happen in the first place. So all of this thing takes time. If you are the kind of person that your healing process takes 1 month, fine, it works for you. If your own would take 1 year for you to get over it, for you to come back into your natural self, ready to date, then fine, take your 1 year. If your own is 1 day, allow your 1 day to pass. If your own is 1 hour, allow it to pass. There are people like that. If your own is 1 hour, allow it to pass and move on with your life, right? But there is no particular time frame to waiting to heal. I feel that you'll also know when you're completely healed. You will know when you're completely healed. I've been in relationships where it took me a while to heal. I thought I was healed, but rather I wasn't, because it was a roller coaster. It was
relationship number 2, man.
Shut up. Are you counting it? It was a roller coaster. It was always like going back and forth. So when you have made up your mind, when you have that, when you've got your mind made up, you'll know you've healed, basically.
So in short, just answer this question. There was a question I wrote down. I said, do you think toxic relationships can affect the way you see any other relationship when you are out of that relationship?
Yes, it can. But you have to also be careful. Like, that's where the healing process comes in. You have to heal before. I mean, we've seen quite a lot of these things online. I would use someone that we all know who recently just got engaged to and just got married, just had a court wedding. She's this, what's her name? Diary of a Niger Girl. Dang, she's this dang lady. What's her name? I can't remember. Anyway.
If you don't know the person, just go and Google it.
Yeah, she's all over the social media now. She's in America with one guy like this. I can't remember her name. Anyway, she talked about her being in a toxic relationship in the past. Yeah, Diary of a Niger Girl. Yeah, she talked about herself being in a toxic relationship, and it took her a while to come out of, that experience. And now she's happily engaged and married and happy with her new partner, and she's happy. And she's all over social media. Like, she's happy to, express and put out a relationship out there. So people go through toxic relationship. Just take your time to heal.
Okay. So just take your time to heal. But some people, it can take years to heal.
Yeah, if you like, take 10 years. It's your 10 years now. It's not my own 10 years. Sorry to say, it's your 10 years.
It's your 10 years. Okay, that's a guy's perspective.
Yeah, it's your 10 years.
As a guy, it's your 10 years.
If you don't know how to heal fast,
ladies.
Yeah,
I'm not going to worry you, but I mean,
don't be taking time to heal fast and move to your next relationship.
Heal fast. So
I think this is going to be my very last question. Or my last question. I'm not saying very last question. I'm not asking for your age. But can you date someone that is older than you?
Older? How old are we talking about? Because I'm old. So how old are we talking about?
I don't know.
I put a number to it.
I don't know how old you are.
Just put a number to how old you're talking about.
Can you date someone that is 5 years max?
No, I
older
can't.
Than you?
I can't date someone that's 5 years older than
3
me.
years max older than you.
No, not
3
at
years older than you.
Maybe. 1 year, 1 year. Yes.
You said maybe
Yes,
for 2
yes,
years.
1 year,
Obviously,
yes.
1 year will be yes.
But 3 years plus my age now. No.
Why?
For those who know my age, add 3 years to it and see if you can date somebody that is that age.
But I
As a
don't know
guy.
your age.
I'm not going to tell my age.
Hey, that's
I'm just
be
saying.
why
I'm just saying that. Yeah, I feel like I'm not restricted by age, but for a man, there's a certain age that you get to, and some people are your sugar mommy. So, yeah, I can't. If my wife is out there and she's 3 years older than me, please, I can still date you.
because I saw an analogy on IG. The person said, I mean, it was all this comic relief. So the person said, in the Bible, God made a woman out of the ribs of a man.
Yeah.
You guys that are going to go and settle down with someone that's older than you.
Yeah.
What do you say about that?
That's deep. I don't have an answer to it. I think you need someone that is more spiritual to answer that question, because when God took out the rib of Adam was sleeping. Adam was unconscious. So he was in a trance, right? And you can sleep and God would take out. God just took out the ribs to create Eve.
It's meant
So they didn't tell us when God created Eve. Eve was 1 year old.
But obviously,
or something.
Eve was created after Adam.
There's no let's not the chronological distance of the way Bible was arranged. Don't try to use that to narrow down your mind. The most important thing is that God made woman out of man, bringing it to now marriage, that and the person that you must marry must then come out of your ribs. Therefore, a man must be older than the woman. You're confusing yourself. You're confusing God, because what the principle is that God made man out of woman. God made a woman out of a man. Therefore, God put a man to sleep, took out the ribs, and made woman. Made woman, not made the woman you are to marry. I don't get. Not made the woman you are to marry. God just created woman. He did not say you made woman you are to marry from your rib. Although they say this, although in marriage it's like your wife technically is your missing rib. Technically is your missing rib. But don't put it by age. Just don't put it by age. It's very dangerous for you to restrict yourself. I mean, it's okay for a woman to date someone that is older than her.
Of course, that's what they're all looking for.
Of course, it's okay. But for a guy, I feel it's just it's okay as well. But just know that some things are just not. It's just somehow. It's just awkward.
So
Yeah.
So 2 years older than you.
3 years as well. I can.
3 years.
I can,
Okay,
yeah,
you can.
that's fine.
Okay.
As long as yeah.
Yeah, we've come to the end of this episode, and
Yeah.
before we move on, I would just like to give a shout out to everyone that joined us on this episode. And if you would like to be a part of us, I mean live here, then you can send us an email and let us know what you want to talk about, and we'll discuss from there. Yeah. I I don't really have the mental capacity to be presenting gifts like this, but I would.
What do you mean by you don't have mental capacity?
Meaning
I'm a
that-
guest on this show. You should present me with a gift.
meaning that this is not my idea. So,
Yeah.
as a guest on QuestLab, we
Okay.
want to say thank you for honoring our invitation.
Yeah. So I'd like to say thank you to the producer, director, and to the person that specifically gave this initiative to present to present something to the guests. Unlike this young man here who doesn't think sometimes. So I'd like to say thank you to the QuestLab team for this wonderful gift. Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity to be on the show today. I hope we've all learned something. This is just my own point of view. Do not judge me based off of what I said. It's just my own point of view. We're just doing question and answer. So I may be wrong, but don't judge me. Thank you.
But wait, did I teach you anything?
Okay, close the show.
Alright, guys, we'll see you on the next episode on Love and Its Questions. Thank you.
Peace out.
Based on the
This
name
is a season of love, and I have something
So, I
very
believe that we are
important
going
to
to be
share with you
dissecting
today.
a lot of
Remember,
questions.
love
I'm telling
isn't
you,
just a
dissecting